That's Falling Tears by Suzanne Christine. Shout out to Philly on the map. You're tuned into the lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, joined in studio, of course, by my guy, DJ Frosty Phoenix, holding down the boards and the phones, and by my next guest. Y'all know it's Artist Tuesday, right? And so Artist Tuesday, we like to highlight artists, right, of varying genres who are out here doing their thing. And so Majida Monet is a fashion designer and self-taught seamstress who has been specializing in trap fashion since 2014. Now, if you don't know what trap fashion is, okay, no worries. You'll learn something new tonight, right? But the real importance, at least for me with this interview, is that, you know, at a time when so many people are focused on just the blatant disregard by mainstream brands, i.e. think Gucci, you know, the latest debacles with that, of black culture, we get to turn our eyes and ears to a black designer who is creating to the beat of her own drum as she carves her lane in the world of fashion. So, Majida, hey girl, hey.
Hey, what's up? What's up, what's up?
How you doing?
Fine, fine. Glad to be here.
Welcome to the lounge.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me.
So, I told folks a little, I gave them like a snapshot of who you are, but like, let you introduce yourself, let folks know who you are, what you do.
Well, my brand is Majida Monet. I'm Majida, of course. I got that name, that's actually my middle name, that came from one of my great aunts. I was raised by my grandma, and basically, I started sewing. It's kind of weird. I was a coordinator of a youth program for a drill team. So I ended up moving into housing development. I grew up, since I had deceased parents, I kind of grew up without parents. So, you know, my grandma kept me in programs that catered to everything I needed as like a youth that was kind of like troubled. You know, that they had problems with society. So when we moved in this area, me and a couple of my friends that I did drill team with in the past, we started this group. It took us forever, like, to raise money for uniforms because I never lived in housing. That was my first experience. I really didn't notice how hard it was to buy, like, everyday things or clothes that we were fortunate to have. Like, we always had wardrobes for every season and shoes. And even though I didn't have, like, my grandma made sure she provided for us a lot. So that kind of made me start getting a machine. Went to Kmart. Bought a $60 machine, and we started with a skirt. I sewed on that machine till it stopped working. I called Singer, hello, why is this machine not working? They said, how many times do you sew a day? I said, about 10, 12 hours a day. They said, miss, this is a home mending machine. You need an industrial. But I'm blessed. I sew in the industrial now. So I mean, that girl just runs. She keep me regular.
So but, wait. So you started sewing so that the drill team would have uniforms?
Absolutely. We started out with like a skater skirt. We had about 50 kids.
Wow.
That's when we paired up with Tab Management. We did events with Chill Moody, different fundraiser events, so we can raise money to the community. We got them up and running. We got them to competition phase. We ended up taking first place. So it was like a great start. And from there, I started getting clients, started like upcycling my clothes at first, and then I never looked back. Wow. So it's like, that's where it became like that. And like touching on trap fashion.
Yes, because do tell us, what for those who don't know, because to be honest, that's a relatively new term.
Absolutely.
Although I feel like variations of that kind of fashion has been around forever. I would say forever, but definitely like since the birth of hip-hop in its own way. But correct. How do you define trap fashion?
I mean, basically how you see it, I'm just like, basically if you notice fashion, especially with trap fashion, is geared around like drip, like, you know, trend setting, music, like different genres. Everybody speak fashion. So in the trap world, you know, it's like the hottest songs, the hottest clothes, the next it. You trying to be it. So I learned that was my identity, not last year, maybe 2015. A blogger did a blog report on me at Walk fashion show, and she was like, yo, you crazy, you crazy with trap fashion. I'm like, trap fashion? Oh yeah, I like that. Like, I think that's what I do. Like, oh yeah, that's me. I was searching for identity, so I found my like birth,
Your lane.
Yeah, my lane, and I'm like, taking off running right now, you know?
So what are the elements of like trap fashion versus casual wear?
All right. I started out in that lane. It's more pressure. It's more. All right. I'm gonna give you different examples. We could say the difference between Old Navy and Gap. They're both made by the same company, but Old Navy is the inexpensive brand to Gap. So high fashion shows make you follow that high standard. So it's more. You can be like, hey girl, yes! You know, it's more in the industry. You stay into that structure. I also do them shows because I show that I'm versatile. But it doesn't allow you to show your true identity. You can't, like, be so self-expressive. So with trap fashion, it's like you can go far with it. Like we trying to figure out what we going to top next. So it's like that's the difference. You can kind of be more free spirit. I can use models that's more self-expressive because I struggle with that too. A lot of the models in the industry, since I was a newbie, I didn't have the respect of them. They used to walk by me. It'd be crazy, you know, common courtesy. With trap fashion, I was able to use my friends that was from another world. I introduced them to the model world, and it's like took off, and we were like the hottest buzz. Like,
so are we talking like bold colors, bold prints, like bamboo earrings? Like I'm feeling like 90s kind of.
Yeah, correct. But like my first collection for this year was called Ocho. That was like, for me, that was like my best collection that I ever think I created.
Is that when you had the puffy skirt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, you know, taking over that that trap fashion and then being a bubble queen. So I'm kind of getting techniques and learning our identity as I'm going. So, you know, with that, on top of trap fashion, I have a technique that a lot of people can maneuver. Color blocking, puffering, you know, being a bubble queen. Like, I take bubble wear and turn it into, like, unusual looks from bralettes to skirts to jackets, pants, overalls, you know.
A bubble bra?
Yeah, bubble bra.
Wow.
Yeah, I have pictures of it on my page. Like, yeah, I released that in like LA last year for Street Fashion Week. But I'm still in the element in design terms as street fashion wear. Trap fashion has an identity in street fashion. Street fashion is taking over on another lane now because we have people that's putting us on the map in hip hop and R&B. You know, like artists.
Got you. So it sounds like when you, of course, first started sewing, this wasn't the plan necessarily. Like you were just trying to do something.
School. What I realized for a person like me, just speaking for myself, I realized that I have a gift, like a talent, that is like school was taming it. I went to school. I'm older. I have 3 children. You know, I went to school with like 18, 19-year-olds. We at the Art Institute. And, you know, it was like I had to take English class to make a jacket. I had to take psychology to make a blazer. Then they told me I couldn't compete till I get to senior level. And I'm paying for these classes out of pocket. So I decided, you know what, I took the basic classes like pattern making, foundation, sewing, intro. And from there, I never looked back, you know. So I never knew this was my journey. I'm afraid in a way, but not afraid. Yeah. Because it's out of your control.
I was about to say, what is it that creates some level of fear in you? If that, I don't even know that that's maybe the right word.
Yeah, it's like a fear. I think I create my own fear. I'm never content. So it was like, Ocho went crazy. My media did numbers I never seen it do ever for me as a new emerging designer. And I was still trying to figure out what I could fix. Like, all right, well, yeah, you know, Ocho was nice, but maybe this time we go back. So it's like, I think I put my own fear. I procrastinate because I'm afraid. Like, I talked myself out of not coming to this interview tonight just because I ain't promote for a week. I made every excuse why I thought I shouldn't be here tonight and then talk myself back into it. Like, you know, Jay sat there like, okay, sis, I'm going to go change my clothes from work. I'll be back. We have to be there at 8, you know, like, and I think I'm learning to step out my comfort zone. I kind of stick to what I know. Like, you know, if you sew, you deal with these people. I go to these places, have these friends. Now it's like I have to deal with so many different people, trust people. That's the issue. You know?
You got so serious in that moment.
Yeah. It's just hard, especially in Philadelphia.
So as an artist, how do you deal with that, you need to get your work out there, right? And this is a form of your self-expression, which means there's a level of vulnerability, not even just with the art, but, you know, on the business side, on the networking side, there's a certain level of vulnerability that's there.
Absolutely.
And there is that risk that someone could cross you or try to cheat you or not properly value your work. How do you navigate that reality?
Now I'm learning you must have a team. I came from like a strong person. My grandma, she never looked for handouts. She was never on like welfare. You know, she went to work. So I came from like a strong foundation, and it's a good and a bad thing. Because sometimes you try to do everything yourself. Like we like the whole team. Like, you know, we the stylist slash the model slash the designer slash the makeup artist. Like, I done graduated from Empire. I do your hair. Like, we is in there, girl. I was like, I can't fail. It's like that. That's how strong I have to make it. Like, I have kids to feed. So my grind is different. Facing it, I have a lot of people that keep telling me to remind myself how great I am. I look at the media. The media and God constantly reminds me of my purpose.
What the media?
The media at times, when I say the media, is when you get that comment that you needed when you was in that vulnerable time. The media don't know you vulnerable, but at that time you had a rough day, because when you're self-creative, it goes off that emotion. You know,
so you mean like social media? Social media. Gotcha.
You know, so you might write, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed your collection. It was unstoppable. So that day I was doubting myself. Oh girl, I'm fired up now. Let me go back.
That feedback. Okay.
So the feedback is a good and a bad thing. And you take the negative too. Because sometimes you can apply what's needed at that time. I've been learning to take my feelings out. Like, you know, you got to wear this professional mask. Somebody told me that a long time ago. It's like wearing a mask every time you go in this situation, and you got to keep it on. But when you leave that place, you can kick the mask all the way down the block, stomp that bad boy, rub it in. But while you're there, you cannot remove that mask, because it kind of protects you. The words people have only have as much power as you give them. So, you know, me and my team, we do discuss it. It don't mean like we unstoppable, but at the same time, I'm like, look where I'm at. 4 years, I had accolades. When I look back, I'm surprised. Like, I've been to L.A., Street Fashion Week, New York. I didn't open, headline, closed in Times Square. Detroit, like, all. It's crazy. And sometimes I don't even have the money when they invite me. It'd be like, oh my God.
Find that way.
And it just comes.
I don't know how.
Girl, and be fly like I belong there, child. Get me in the door. So it's like, it's a great thing, and it's a trust problem, because growing up without parents, you know, having a team, I quit on my own team, and sometimes you fight with the people that's around you because they the only people that's there, you know. So I'm learning that kind of too, you know. And it's a learning thing every day. I just tell them all the time, it don't come with a book. So, you know, every day we might have to meet again. We have meetings so much, like, I'm tired of having meetings with myself. Like, I be having staff meetings with me. Like, you know, we be just in there meeting, like, you know.
So how do you deal with those, like you said, you quit on your team before, right? How did you, what were the steps that you took to kind of repair that situation and to make sure that everyone healed and could move forward?
This is the weird part. You got to make sure your team. Because if your team, they there for a purpose, the same way I have a purpose. Because we're going to define a relationship. The team is a relationship. Everybody's giving, somebody's taking on both ends. So if I'm at my weak point, that's your job to make sure I'm getting back to that point. You know, I don't need them to sew. You know, everybody have a role. And I've been running through people that's not strong to uphold it, because it's not going to always be good days. Sometimes I apologize when I think I shouldn't. Just because on a day I'm not, you know, you don't gonna leave, right? Because it's that deep. Because this is emotion. Like, I built something from nothing. I struggle with respect from a showcase in our city, and it's like the biggest platform from our city. Why, I don't know.
I was just about to say, why do you struggle with it?
I've been applying to this platform for 3 years. It doesn't defeat me, because I'm built for tough. But as a person, if they wasn't me, it would bother you if you didn't get that assurance, that recognition. Because every time you cut on Fox, this platform is there. Every person I know in the city that has leveled up use that platform. I mentally struggled with it, but I didn't pass the platform. My people remind me of that, but it's still a principle. So now I have a vengeance.
Like now you're on a mission.
I'm on a mission. I have a point to prove. So this year, I just had my feet on everybody's neck. I'm coming for everything, with no remorse.
Gotcha.
Talent for talent. You know.
I was just about to say, you know, how do you deal with rejection as an artist? And it sounds like part of it is that you go harder. Yeah,
it's the intimidation factor. You know, being a leader, it's like a good and a bad thing. Being a person that's like, when I say unstoppable, small things don't affect you, you're really a threat to people. Like, you know, it'd be like crazy. So it's like tough. But growing up without no parents and I'm still here, that it's like ants to a giant, you know, when you look at it, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, in case you're just tuning in, I'm chatting. You're listening to Majida Monet. She is a fashion designer based here in Philadelphia. She's self-taught seamstress. She's been specializing in trap fashion, which is a derivative of streetwear since 2014. She kind of broke down, you know, not only telling us a little bit about her backstory, but also like what trap fashion is, excuse me. And then also how, as an artist, she faces, you know, her fears, rejection, challenges, all of that stuff. She's touched on a lot in her short time. I was, you know, looking at a few of your designs, and one thing that I do love is the creativity in it. You can tell just by what you design that you take, like, there's a boldness with you.
Yeah.
And like even when I look at the bright colors and even the models, I'm glad you mentioned the models, like the models that you selected. They remind me of the same energy to an extent that Rihanna picked her. She has the gap.
I know you're talking about. I'm not good with names.
Yeah.
But she is a hair
just looking at her Instagram. Slickwood. Yes. Like your line, I feel like she embodies that kind of spirit. And correct me if I'm wrong. Like I'm only going off of, you know, what I've seen and yeah, like just going off of observation. Like I feel like a Slick Woods would know how to wear your brand.
Yeah, that's we look for that. Like my slogan of the brand is like, we don't follow trends, we set them. So we set a standard for ourselves. As an emerging designer, we need that top model. We need that one chance to make sure we turning heads. So we go for that.
Well, right now we're going to go for this break, right? Great. So we're going to take that break, and then we're going to come back on the other side with Majida Monet, fashion designer, self-taught seamstress. And when we come back on the other side, I want to hear your thoughts about these mainstream brands like Gucci who appear to love the black dollar.
Absolutely.
But not necessarily, and the culture, but don't really seem to honor it. And so I'm interested to get your thoughts as a black woman fashion designer.
Absolutely.
All right, so listen, you all are in the lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita. We'll be back after these messages.
Listen to Word Radio on the go with the Word Radio app. Search for WURD in your favorite app store today and take us with you wherever you go. Stay connected to Word Radio, independent black media.
This is Ronald Clark from Moravia Health. Moravia Health Home Care Service are an excellent option for individuals who need medical attention or even non-medical assistance with daily activities, but would rather receive this care in the comfort of their own homes. Make this change today. Come and experience Moravia Health for yourself. Call Moravia Health at 215-717-8650 or visit moraviahealth.com. Moravia Health, because there's no place like home.
Listen live at wordradio.com.
Are you a union contractor in the tri-state area interested in becoming part of a major casino project coming to Philadelphia? Gilbane, Cordish Companies, and Global Synergies LLC invite you to a prime subcontractor pairing session Wednesday, March 13th, 5 until 8 p.m. at Xfinity Live, 1100 Patterson Avenue. Come prepared to provide a company capability statement and specific bid responses with estimated dollar value. For additional information, contact Alisa Saya at 4 Global globalsynergies.com or call 215-642-2202. Pre-registration strongly suggested. Go to Eventbrite and type in Live Casino to register.
Hey everybody, we're Philly's own Kindred the Family Soul. Welcome back to the lounge on WURD.
I got this need for you, for me and I'm beating hard. I knew the meaning right away, only yesterday were worlds apart. I got this name for you, if you come closer I can whisper in your ear. And if you wanna walk away, I'll tell you all the things I know you'd wanna hear. Come closer, tell you if you come over. I know we go farther, farther with you, I'm in Mars. I got this need for you. Yesterday the world's apart. I think I may love you if you give me some time. Maybe you'll love me too. Come closer to you if you come over. I know we go farther, farther with you, I'm in Mars. Come closer to you if you come over. I know we go farther, farther with you, I'm in Mars.
That's a vibe right there. That's Warm Water by Banks. It's the Snake Hips remix. And I was feeling that. I was definitely feeling that. You're in the lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. We are live streaming on Facebook right now. So if you haven't already, feel free to join us there. If you're a person that prefers visuals over audio, you can find us right now. Just find the, go to Facebook. Type in the lounge. You should already be following us. I'm going to just say that. But if you're not already, you can do that now. Look for the lounge and you'll see the live right there. I'm currently joined in studio, with Majida Monet. She is a fashion designer and we're just chatting a little bit about her journey, her perspective on the artistry behind being a fashion designer, but also looking at the personal journey that's associated with it. And I want to shout out those who are tuned in on a live. We have Viola. I'm going to just say Viola. I don't want to read people's whole handles. But shout out to Viola. She said, I have my sewing machine since I was 16. My mother and grandmother bought it for me. I'm 71 and still sew. I'm proud of you. So that was for you, Majida. And thank you, Miss Viola, for tuning in. So let's jump back into this. Because before we went to break, I asked you, I told you I wanted to get your perspective.
Yes. On
mainstream brands, fashion brands, who love black culture, love the black dollar, and yet produce things that would at any way be an offense to us.
Absolutely.
And so as a designer who is black and a woman, what are your thoughts on these instances of like Gucci, what we see what they're doing? How does, like, your thoughts, and then how does that, if at all, influence your approach?
Well, for me, I can't afford Gucci. authentic. Like, you know, we're not
Let's keep it
talking
all the
about
way 100.
the Gucci from the Aki stand. I mean, the authentic Gucci.
Right.
It's very expensive. So for me, I can't afford Gucci.
Right.
But, you know, I feel
Same here.
like, you know, as people, as a culture, we have to learn, we have to know our strength. Like, you know, we're very valuable in this culture. Even in the design industry, they pull us in for what we bring, what we add to the thing. So if we are against something, we have to stand strong as an individual. I feel like Gucci just is current. We heard the same thing with Timberland with lynching trees. We had the same thing with Tommy Hilfiger growing up. I remember my grandma wouldn't buy me this Tommy sweater I wanted so bad. And, you know, because what the article was about Tommy Hilfiger, my grandma was pro-black. She wasn't racist or anything. She had friends that was different, from different races and everything, but she stood for that. So, you know, I feel like we need to not support or patronize anything that doesn't respect us. We go to the nailery and she don't do our nails right, we don't go back. You're not going to keep going there like, well, maybe Ken going to get it right this week, so I'm going to try it one more time. I know she burned my cuticles, but we going to go on back. So, you know, I just don't understand it, because it's like they have to stand up for what you believe. So for me, as a designer, I speak through my art, but it makes sure you look at things and don't offend them. You know, it do make sure you make sure, because we deal with different things. It might not be on the Gucci level, but different races, different cultures, different nationalities. You know, growing up with, you know, you having a Caribbean background, you know, growing up, I did a lot of dance hall fashion, not to offend that, having a lot of friends from the LBG community. So, you know, it's just tough expressing yourself through work, but you have to stand for what you don't believe in or patronize. So I feel like for Gucci, Prada, it was a couple high-end names that we die for. We go over and beyond to fit in these labels that don't patronize us.
Well, I'm glad to have your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And so with your brand, right, you mentioned that you're very specific in the models that you choose, and that you've encountered models who don't come from where you come from.
Absolutely.
So for those who don't know, where do you come from? Like what part of Philly?
I grew up in Uptown.
Shout out to Uptown.
Shout out to Uptown. But right now I stay in, the weird part is I'm in a hood. I'm like in a hood that's a gold mine. Right now I stay in Northern Liberties, but in the hood. Okay. So it's like kind of weird. Outside,
gentrification.
Correct, absolutely. 1 block away is like rich, elaborate condos, and we like right there. I had a client that was a celebrity client, and she was visiting at her Northern Liberties condo. She like, yeah, you know, I'll give you my address. I'm in the Northern Liberties condo. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the hood across the street. Like, oh yeah, I'm like, I know
I'm just
where
walk on over, girl. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So I feel like when you vibe and relate with people, it really goes a long way. Every show I go to, no matter what state, no matter who the models are, we relate. So I make sure we connect. I need to see them. I need the energy. Because some energy you don't want. Models, clients, people. You know, you learn that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess energy would definitely be important when you're thinking about this energy is going to be rocking your clothes down a runway and like presenting your hard work, your vision, your whatever.
Yeah.
And so what's the energy that you look for, or the feeling that you look for when it comes to modeling? Confidence.
I'm a new kid on the block, and I'm never showing that I'm nervous. Even if we cried the whole way there. Oh my God, I don't know if it's gonna work. When we walk in there, they don't see none of that confidence. So I don't look for that. You have to own what you do. Like, I'm a designer, you're a model. I can't take timid, because it's like we get one choice. Once the show starts, you can't retake. So, you know, that's the difference with reality and media and social media, these platforms that don't let them see the struggle. It's real. So I got one chance, one opportunity to give a bang, to take over the show, to dominate. I need the best at every casting or at every city I go to.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I noticed on your Instagram that you are very transparent about your story and the grind, like showing that side of it. I think in one of your recent posts, you mentioned how, you know, you grew up without your parents, and, you know, teenage mom, troubled childhood, like all of these different things, and then kind of.
Shout out to my grandma, Trouble.
Did you drive her crazy?
Trouble. My kids are great. They're the best kids ever. I was a piece of work.
How old are your kids?
19, 16, and 14. I have a daughter in college. She's in Harcum.
Okay. I wish y'all could. If you're tuning in to Facebook Live, you can't see her. But I just gotta let you know, I did not know. I would have never thought she has 3 kids.
I ain't telling y'all my age.
No, I wasn't gonna go there.
Well, I'll show you the ID later.
Okay, but it doesn't even matter,
right?
I would have never guessed.
That's good. They say black don't crack.
Although I'm gonna be real. Yep. I don't even know what it looks like anymore to have have kids or not have kids. So I got to train myself to even stop saying that at this point, because
so my grind's different.
Yeah,
like, you know, some people grind for bags and bundles, shoes, nails. It's not even the point of affording it. I barely get the time. It's like the passion, you know. So my grind's different. If I don't sell no clothes, I don't eat. I don't stop sewing and work at Walmart, work anywhere else. That's my only grind.
So you do this, I was about to say, full time?
Yeah, for 3 years now. 3 years.
What went into that? What were you doing prior to, and what?
The weird part is my first degree was in early childhood education. So I worked with kids for like 8 years. I always been hyper. When I ended up moving in housing, I started gearing off what paid the bills, kind of chasing a dream. So I went to Empire. I was a cut and color specialist, graduated from there, top of the class. You know, I was shining since then. So, you know, now with this been my third change and my permanent. This is my creativity. The weird part is my dad used to sew, never knew it. So it's like, I don't know if you can inherit something like that, but it's like the juice is in my blood. It's weird.
You got the juice.
The juice, good, the juice.
So did you ever get to meet your parents?
Yeah, my mom passed away when I was 5. She died from a brain aneurysm, and my dad was murdered at 13 in the prison system. So, you know, like, most of the year my dad was like a street guy, growing up, visiting him in and out of prison. So, you know, but he was real swaggy. It's real weird when people connect with you and see you through somebody. They consistently remind you, like, you the girl him. So it's like kind of weird. But I make sure I carry a piece of both of them, like, in every collection. But only somebody would know what it is. Like, my mom was in the service, so I always make sure it's something from the service, please. Either from Art Goldberg, it might be one piece of camo, something. My dad was an artist, and I make sure I express that. He was a graffiti artist on top of a hoodlum. You know, like, but he had a talent.
Did you say a hoodlum?
Hoodlum had / graffiti artist. You know, you got to pretty it up.
No, but I think that's so beautiful, you know, that through your own creative expression, you found your way to kind of keep them right here on the journey with you.
Yeah, it's this platform has been molding me to face some fears, be more expressive, show that you can struggle. I think society now make it seem so easy that people think they could just wake up and be y'all. Like, you know, give you a message like, you know, I'm gonna start me a podcast in a radio station. So how you start? Like, I got me some microphones, I got a ring light and a camera, and we going down. So you be looking like, okay, but they don't see none of that because we hide all that. We don't show them that we done scraped up all the nickels. Me and my friends all put the money together to get the fabric to get to New York. When you got to borrow the money from your grandmom at the church, because they believed in your dream, you got to pay them back in 90 days.
Pay that money back.
You know, and the kids, like when I went to LA, just touching this real quick, I couldn't afford to go to LA when they invited me. It was all week. For Street Fashion Week, gave me like 4 weeks. My oldest daughter was in college. She called me like, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a ticket. I'm like, how you gonna buy my ticket? You don't even work, because she play basketball, so I don't require her to work. She said, I got a refund. So I'm going to buy you a ticket. So, Mom, and when I say it made me cry, I was like, oh, my God, wow. And, you know, that was, like, the best thing. It made me realize they believe in my dream, too. You know, so it's, like, surreal. So I can't quit. Failure is not even the option for me. I don't even speak of that. Yeah. Even on rough days.
If you're just tuning in, I had the pleasure of chatting with Majida Monet. She's a fashion designer here in Philly. If you have any questions, right, or I don't know, you just want to send her some positive vibes, some energy, whatever it may be, call in 215-634-8065. Again, that's 215-634-8065. toll free 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. We're also live on Facebook. So if you want to actually be here, get the full, I can't say full experience, but you know, a version of the experience of being in the lounge through visuals, go ahead and head to the lounge Facebook and you can watch there. But jumping back into this chat, hey y'all, she's live on her Instagram.
Oh, this is my Facebook now.
Oh, look, she live everywhere. No, but like to have your children be invested in your dream. Having 2 children myself, right? I could only imagine, and I know, like when I was doing my live talk show series before, my girls would be in there helping to set up and greeting people at the door and mommy what you need and yada yada yada, and it meant so much to know that they were willing to give that. At this point, what is it that you hope your children take away from this grind that you're on and this lane that you're creating for yourself?
Never kind of to quit, even like when the odds turn against you. You know, yeah, like never giving up. They ready for me to like advance. Like they ready for me to get out this living room. Like they're over the clients, the people, the mannequins, the machines. So they just want our house again. But
so you're doing all of this from your house?
Yeah.
And you're still hand sewing everything?
Everything.
Wow.
Make pattern makings, everything from scratch. Everything you see on the page, I create.
Wow.
So people always like, oh my God, why you didn't get a store? Somebody give me a store. Like, it's like, give me one, I'll move in. Like, you need a commercial, you can't get a budget on the utilities, you gotta do everything commercial. You need insurance to move into the store. The people don't know the business model. Like, I would love to have one store.
Right.
You know, so I'm
levels to this.
Absolutely. And I'm staying at my level where I can afford things in the living room.
Right.
You know, that's why I can go a few places. So, you know, but just showing them, because they see me build it from every level, so they're proud. Like, they're very proud. They defend it to the T. Like, don't let somebody, my daughter be on there. My team, you got to tell them down, boy. The media, I remember one time somebody went here, it's like, before I even noticed, it was so many comments under, you look like, everybody was like, Machida, we was at it. I'm like, oh. But, you know, it's just showing them self-motivation. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
Sorry. My middle daughter lost her father a few years back. This will be her 3rd year, actually the 15th. She lost him the same age as me at 13. Like,
wow.
I remember me and my sister and my brother for my father. It was rough. But she kind of still prevailed. So I always remind her, like, I didn't have 2 parents, and I'm still, like, here. You got, and grandmom just had me, so you got grandmom, everybody, and me. So you're never going to, like, fall under. Like, my oldest daughter, she's a fighter. She started out as Cecil, a coach hit her. Like, he was angry and punched her. And, I mean, we had to fight the school. I mean, when I say fight, it took everything from me and her father not to, like, lose our cool. But we fought it, and the coach was fired. And my daughter,
this is the daughter that plays basketball.
Absolutely. Now she's at Harcum.
Right.
But we started out at Cecil in Maryland, full scholarship. The man that came in my living room recruited her. Full scholarship, and the man hit her. She called me. Basically, we followed the proper way. He got fired. But the point of it is, she motivates me a lot. After that happened, she still stayed at the school. Another coach came. She took the school. They went to the championship. She called me one day and was like, yeah, I called Coach. And I told him he could come to the game. So I'm like, huh? She like, yeah, because I'm kind of over it. It was in the past, like, you know, Mom, like, he apologized, like, it's over. So he really want to come to the game. I think he should come. You know, like, we had different situations, and my daughter was more mature than me. So, you know, she teach me a lot, too. She stayed at that school, still stayed on that full scholarship. You know, she had to wait until it was investigated. It killed her because she's a star player. Came out of Palumbo, first one that went all public in the school. So they showed, I learned through them. My middle daughter, straight A student, first ranked in Benjamin Franklin High.
Wow.
GPA 4.0.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're definitely inspirations to me. But let's go ahead, let's take this break. We'll come back on the other side. You're tuned in to The Lounge on WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. Stay right there.
Listen to Word Radio on the go with the Word Radio app. Search for WURD in your favorite app store today and take us with you wherever you go. Stay connected to Word Radio, independent Black media.
Support independent Black media and join the Forward movement now at 215-425-7875 or visit wordradio.com. The Kimmel Center offers free arts education programs to schools across the region. Teaching artists visit classrooms to educate, engage, and inspire the next generation using creative learning experiences, and schools take trips to the Kimmel Center for live performances. The Kimmel Center is committed to educating Philadelphia's youth by providing access to quality arts. For more information, visit kimmelcenter.org.
Hello, I am Joel Wilson, and I founded TechCore 2 5 years ago with the mission to develop a technology pipeline program for urban youth from kindergarten to college to career entry. Starting March 30th, we have an 8-Saturday program with 9 different 90-minute classes and 3 different start times. Please register your young person at spring2019.techcore2.org or call 215-879-6701 so they are not left behind in this digital revolution.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you to keep bacteria in food from making you ill with 4 simple steps.
This will be a walk in the park.
Clean. Wash hands and surfaces often.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Keep raw meats away from ready-to-eat foods.
Yep.
Cook. Make sure meat, poultry, and seafood is cooked to the right temperature.
Fire in the hole!
And chill. Refrigerate food promptly.
Bingo!
Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
Hey now, this is Dr. Guthrie Ramsey of Musicology, and you're listening to The Lounge on Word Radio.
Be young.
That's Isaiah Rashad type beat, Rooftops. That's produced by B. Young. Nice little vibe there. You're tuned into The Lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. It's Artist Tuesday. It's also Open Mic Tuesday. Open Mic Night. So if you are a singer, a rapper, a lyricist, a poet, any of those, feel free to call in. We'll give you 30 seconds on the platform to perform, to share your talent. So just call in, 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, that's 866-361-0900. It's Open Mic Night. Call in, let us hear you. Share your talent. Let your little light shine. But in the meantime, I am in studio joined by my special guest, Majida Monet. She's a fashion designer here in the city. I just learned that, like, she has built this brand. She's built everything from her home. Like she's when you say doing it from the muscle, doing it from the muscle, like all the way. And that has taken her to various states, cities, fashion weeks, all of that. You know, it's from the living room to the runway. Yeah. It's pretty much where your designs are going. Yeah. So given that you've done this from the muscle, what tips or advice would you give to folks who, you know, are considering or aspiring to become fashion designers?
I mean, once you know your purpose and who you are, kind of stick to it. It don't mean we're not going to stumble. It's not going to get hard. You're not going to try different things, but stay true to yourself. Because that's basically the best advice, because it doesn't come with a rule book. You know, I didn't watch Get Rich videos, people that had a t-shirt company turning millionaires. I done been to seminars. I done bought tickets to empowerment seminars, and what works for some don't work for all. So, you know, whatever your path is, just like embrace your path, and whatever path it is, do the heck out of that path. That means keep going back, polishing that path, keep revisiting it, cleaning it up, keep going back. Because when I first started sewing, I was sewing. Now I perfected the craft. Do I still learn? Absolutely. So now the difference for me is I was building a resume at the beginning for so long, doing them weeks, getting the buzz out. Now I'm working on the network, because the network is my net worth. So now I need to make some of this money back. A little bit. So I'm going to that. That's what it's the difference with me now. Like, everybody might have started out with t-shirts and sweatsuits. I'm just now releasing my first sweatsuit collection in a week. Yeah. So, you know, it's like I'm moving a little backwards, but this is my path. It was meant to happen this type of way. So I'm embracing it and stepping out on faith.
I'm so glad that you spoke to that aspect of it, because, you know, even when I think back on my own journey, there was a moment when I had to, like, you know, sometimes you got to sit and meditate and really reflect back on what all you have gone through to get where you're at. Yes. And that's when I realized anything that I've accomplished, it's always been through a non-traditional path. Absolutely. Like, it wasn't the, like, I think about college. I came to college a teen mom, right? And then I graduated from college, but during that time I was on welfare. It was like all these different things. Then basically my journey was, after college, it went from blogging to branding to business, and now broadcast. And broadcast, this wasn't what I saw. And so I didn't even get to broadcast in a traditional route, you know. But at some point you say, this was for me, and this is how I got to do it. Like, so I'm so glad you spoke to that non-traditional aspect of it, and that there's no rule book. Yeah. You know, because I'm 30, and so I think about how I've heard so many folks who are like, oh, I started out in radio when I was in college. I was 19 or something like that. I'm like, oh, I was 19. I was almost on baby number 2. I was in college, but it was a totally different experience. So, yeah, shout out to that. If you are listening and you're out there and, you know, you see folks getting it one particular way, do not think that that's the only way that you can reach your destination. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think when we start to get locked into, oh, it has to happen this way. That's when you get defeated. That's when you get defeated. Definitely. So we have a caller. Let's go to Napoleon out of West Philly.
Yes. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I'm glad I'm calling tonight on WURD. I'm a local newspaper reporter, Napoleon Kincaid. I write for several papers here in Philly. But I'm a friend with the young lady that you're interviewing tonight on WURD. Yes. She's a great person. Her daughter played for me on my basketball team. Yeah. You know, and I heard her talking about Kiara. So what I want to do, I want to get compliments to her, because how many mothers in the city of Philadelphia don't give up on their dream and they go for their dream? Okay. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I told her a long time ago, like last year, stop limiting yourself to Philly.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing with your fashion goes beyond Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, her fashion, if you look at some of her stuff, some of her clothes, you know, it's top of the line stuff, you know. But other people beyond Philly have to see it because her stuff is potentially New York, California. And that's what I was trying to tell her before. Go beyond Philly. Go to California. Go to New York and get noticed with your fashion, okay? Because you never know who big out there may say, okay, we're going to put you with this company, that company, and blow you up bigger than where you're at.
Than where you're at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. It's a true story.
And she got it. She got it. I seen some of her fashion stuff, and it's off the chain.
Appreciate
you know, high quality stuff.
Great. Well, thank you for calling in and
thank you
giving out positive vibe and energy.
Touch my heart.
Well, you was about to say you gonna drop a tear. So it's Thankful Tuesday here, and I'm wondering, like, in this moment, in this space, with where you're at in your life, what are you most thankful for today?
Seeing my kids grow. My mom and dad never seen me reach the age my kids reach. No, I was 13, so my dad seen me for 13 years, my mom seen me for 5. So to enjoy them, I think that was the biggest thing for me, because I could have been dead, other path, in jail, you know. So just seeing them grow and enjoy them.
Yeah, do that thing. All right, well, I want to make sure I put something on your radar. You know, shout out to Napoleon who called in and said, you know, basically think bigger, reach further. We have a contest that's happening right now. It's called #LevelUp, a celebration of women who got next. And throughout the month of March, because it's Women's History Month, in celebration of that, we are partnering with 2 other Black-owned radio stations, WVON in Chicago and KJLH in Los Angeles. And so this is for an exciting 3-city contest, and we are looking for young Black women between the ages of 18 and 35 who are making a difference in her community and in any of those 3 cities. And so, you know, if that's something that you might want to nominate yourself for, or if you know other women.
When the contest over?
It's over March 29th.
Oh, good.
So you got time.
I'll be 36 in April.
So you got
one more. Got to hurry up and get it in.
Yeah, you might want to hurry up.
Hurry up, my birthday coming. Teen Talks.
Get that in. The deadline for submission is March 29th. But that prize package for the winners, I'm not going to read it all, but one of the things it includes is being featured on each radio station. Yeah. And via a radio interview or placement, and, you know, just having bios posted on digital platforms, and, you know, some mentorship from the station leaders. So, you know, if you're listening and you're tuned in, make sure you head to wordradio.com, and you can just look for the Level Up banners, like the first thing that you see when you go on the website. Click it, and you can nominate yourself or another young, or, you know, a young Black woman that you may know and you've observed her doing awesome things, dope things like what Majida got going on. So we got to get ready to get out of here. Let everybody know where they can follow you at, and you know, where they can find the clothes and all that.
Yeah, you can follow me, find me on all platforms at Majida Monet. That's MAJEEDA MONAE. My Instagram is my main page I use for selling, but I do have a like page on Facebook. I do have a Twitter that I'm working to get it up and running again, and we'll be releasing our website next month. But I do have a big cartel store already on Instagram.
Okay. And someone actually just asked what's Majida's handle on Facebook Live. So I'll make sure we drop it in there. But Thank you so much. Again, Majida Monet, she's a fashion designer based out of Philly, and it's really been like a pleasure to chat with her, laugh, all of this good stuff. She has a lot of great energy. So listen, you're tuned into The Lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. Going to take this break. When we come back on the other side, my next guest, Shanina Diana, will be on. We'll be talking about the intersection of mental health, wellness, and art, and how she uses her art as a vehicle for healing. So stay tuned.
Reality Check. Reality Check. Hosted by Charles Ellison. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. Right here on Word Radio, 96.1 FM.